Hi guys, I'm Dana Al-Hanbali and this is Something to Consider. We often speak about success as if it's a straight line, an idea, a breakthrough, and then a legacy. But what we rarely pause to ask is, what does the legacy cost? To health, to relationships, to the self behind the public persona. My guest today, Mohammed Saeed Harib, has lived those questions in real time. He's the famous creator of Freej, the region's most iconic animated series, one that turned 4 Emirati grandmothers into cultural icons and showed the world how humor and heritage could break expectations and travel across borders. From neighborhoods in Dubai to international screens, from safety videos in airplanes to artwork that has literally reached outer space, his career has been defined by breaking boundaries of genre, of geography, and of what we thought was possible for regional storytelling. At its heart, though, Freej wasn't just a project. It was a passion, a love letter to Emirati women, the quiet strength behind generations, including the very ones who would later carry the nation's flag into space. Through these characters, Mohammed paid tribute to the grace, wit, and wisdom of the women who shaped not just homes, but the future of a country. But behind the accolades is a human story we rarely get to hear. The toll of building something new in an industry with no roadmap, the pressure of being a first, and the mental weight that often sits quietly behind the laughter. In this conversation, we explore not just his creative journey, but also what it costs to succeed as a man, as an entrepreneur, and as an artist trying to balance tradition with modernity, commerce with creativity, and humor with truth. Mohammed, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Dana, for your kind words, and I'm very happy to be here and to sit with you again.
Sarah, it's such a pleasure. We just met recently, I think earlier this week, yes. And I was so taken aback by how honest you were. You are such an unbelievably honest person. You're so real.
Is that okay or not okay?
That's completely okay. And to be honest, especially because I'm someone who watched Freej when it came out in the early 2000s, to see that the person behind it carries not just a true passion and love for what he does, but honors humility in the way that he talks about it is quite beautiful. I was honestly, I feel like you gave me a lot to consider, which is why you're here.
Thank you so much. Thank you again. And let's expand on that discussion.
Yes. Let's. Okay, so the first question I usually ask my guests is, I like them to set the context for where we start. So if I asked you, what do we need to know about you and the context of your life to set the stage for the conversation we're about to have?
Well, basically, I am a man of many trades, and I think that came with the baggage of Freej, because Freej required, for you to be a director, you need to be a leader. You need to be somebody who has enough knowledge in, let's say, the field, whether it's, the small things like 3D modeling, sketching, coloring, framing, rigging, walking cycles, and then the whole layer of writing. تجميع الأمثال, the sayings, the old sayings, writing poems, poetry, creating songs, voicing talent. There is a lot of layers when it comes, and a lot of disciplines and industries that kind of converge when you create cartoons, for sure, and also films and whatnot. So I wanted to make sure, and I used to tell this to myself, and I have it on my Instagram page, I think. I say, like, I wear many, many hats in hope that I can ace one. Like, one of the values I live by is, if I do something, I want to be one of the top 3 in doing that. But, it might take time. Some of them come very quickly, and some of them needs more time and progress. So if I still have that energy burning in me that will allow me to be always that kind of person who knows a lot of different things in different fields that all come together to create storytelling and be one of the top 3, I'm happy.
That's a huge ambition. That's a lot to take on in terms of just responsibility as well. But what I find interesting about what you said is you've taken something that is very, very culturally rich in terms of Arab heritage, poetry, songs, stories. This is very much, it centers around what kind of culturally, the way that we make connections with each other. It's all centered around oral storytelling.
Yes.
So I'm curious, what was your experience with oral storytelling as a child that made you so incredibly passionate about this industry?
Well, when I was younger, when I started kind of understanding the beauty of storytelling, it did not start with books. I hated books. I hated comics. I loved watching cartoons. Adnan Walina, Sindibad. I think that kind of medium was something that was very, very entertaining. I also enjoyed so much sitting with my grandmother, telling me about the old days, telling me how they lived and how they went by, and the beauty of back then. If somebody wants to kind of say hello to someone, greet someone, or even if they have an issue with each other, they will do it through poems. You know?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, our oral kind of history came from Mr. X saying hi to Miss Y, let's say, or Mr. Y, and maybe they were invited for lunch together, or somebody did something good, and he will praise that person. And sometimes, if they have an issue with each other, they will say it in poetry. And the beauty of poetry, you cannot be too insultive. You can say something in a beautiful way. Like, oh, my love to your friendship, or you has dimmed like the moon has dimmed, or or now it's so bright like the full moon. There are a lot of metaphors that was so beautiful, and because back then a lot of them, maybe most of them, did not know how to write or read. So these things were their way of basically storytelling and communicating.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, and that is a rich format that I don't want to lose, and it's still there. But I still want to highlight it to the younger generation that the Arabic language is a beautiful language, and no thanks to the 28 letters we have, putting things together and the levels of, let's say. In Arabic, we have so many layers of saying I love you. أنا أعشقك، أنا أحبك، أنا أموت فيك، أنا هايم، الهيام، الغرام. There are so many like a ladder. So I loved how they used that. I tried my best to learn. I succeeded شوي. كتبت قصائد في Freej. I wrote something for Freej in poems, and I have friends that taught me. But in the end, again, it's talent. It's an energy that you have to kind of invest in. And one of my friends who is a poet, he said, no two poets are the same. He said, your wealth of imagination, your head, can come up with poems that I, for example, let's say Mr. X, can't, because I don't have that imagination in me. I can put words together that rhyme beautifully, but it will not be you. It will be me. And that's why he refused so many times to write for Freej. He said, no, this is you. This is your voice. But you need to put it in that mathematical system, which is بالعربي, rhythm and rhyme. And that's it.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it. Because even when I think about, you talk about it from the perspective of poetry, but even when you're speaking, just this idea of you have the flexibility to say anything, even argue, as long as it's in a format that makes it easy for the other person to receive.
Yes.
Which is very, very powerful.
Yes.
It kind of shows you the level of influence this can have.
Yes. And you know what's the beauty of it? If I speak to you in a certain rhythm and rhyme, you have to reply in that same rhythm and rhyme. So it's a bit challenging.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you said something, this is a poem, and I'll reply with another poem. No, to continue the chapter 2 of that poem, which is basically you telling me something back, you have to stick to what I started. So there was a lot of kind of interesting ways that communication was taking place. And that's the kind of oral history I want to maintain.
I love that. I'm curious, though, you talk about, this is something that was very much embedded in the relationship you had with your grandmother. As an Emirati man living in the Emirates at a time when it was still in a period of transformation, the beginning of its transformation, I want to talk about the influence that you had with the men in your life versus the women. I'm quite curious why you chose to focus on the woman.
One of the things is because I've never met my grandfathers. So when I was born, they passed away. So, and we the center of every family is the grandmother or the grandfather. But for me, the grandmothers were the big influence because it's where we congregate. It's where we listen, and it's where we hear her say poetry and tell us jokes and tell us some very nice sayings and and what was even more interesting is to see them react to certain things a certain way. So basically, for my grandmother to go on the car and go do shopping, she will do that once a year. She will just do it for the most important. She will adore her cows. Like it's like their pets, beautiful things. Like my grandmother, as they age, it gets harder for them to like walk and go from one place to another. But if the cow just had a baby, she will walk. She will walk and go there. And if it's Ramadan, she will walk to the kitchen and prepare some food for the public. And so there are so many things that while observing their life, I realized how seeing them react to modernity as it happens, seeing them I remember my grandmother was very upset with my aunt when my aunt cut the hair of the girls. She gave them this, the latest
short
cut.
haircut, yeah.
Why did you do it? Because she loves to braid.
Aww.
And like you took away that kind of, the thing she loves, and she doesn't believe in that. And like how they react to basically. I remember her watching one of them watching a Bedouin show. They take it so seriously. Watching a Bedouin show.
Why?
Because it relates to their kind of landscape back then, when they were younger, probably.
Okay.
The way they used to live, and the way the love stories that were there, that the fictional ones. So they're very much engaged. They're very much engaged in the news, and back then, the news was the news. You cannot debate the news. It's not like now. Oh, we see something. There's a narrative being pushed.
100%.
We have social media. So it's very interesting also how they react to what's happening in the world, how they see it, how they. I always say this, and that's one of the main messages of Freej. How these grandmothers or that slice of society views the world, views the issues, and how, in their eyes, in their simplified way, solve these issues. Because we overcomplicate things many times. We overthink. We will do something. We'll ask ChatGPT. We'll go on the internet. We'll ask our friends. We'll go on social media. Everybody had an opinion, or everybody has an opinion now, and it's very conflictive.
It's a very observant way of kind of choosing to navigate life. And it's so interesting, Lena, the more I sit with you, the more I begin to understand kind of, I don't want to say I understand how your brain works, but I guess a lot of things start to make sense to me. Because I feel like as someone who used to watch Freej, which is a show that is still ongoing in many different formats and in different kind of experiences even, it kind of makes me wonder, what does Freej say about you and the way you see the world? Because you've done a good job of kind of pinpointing how these grandmothers see it, how your culture may see it, through a specific lens, I understand. But كمان there's something that you're kind of saying, and I'm wondering, what is it that this says about you?
I think the show, as it evolved, being in season 1 and me being young and not understanding, let's say, all the tools I have, the storytelling tools I can develop. It started in a very simple way, just speaking about the obvious kind of issues, that will relate to a grandmother. But then I realized that this is a vehicle for me to drive a lot of emotions through it. Every single lady you see is Mohammed Saeed Harib. Every single the crazy Khamas is Muhammad. The forgetful Salloum is Muhammad. The educated Alawi is Muhammad. And not yet, but maybe sometime soon, the wise Saeed is Muhammad. And I use them to teach me about life. And I use that to drive myself forward when it comes to progressing through life. I don't preach. I will never, and my team knows this, anybody who knows me knows this. I will never put an episode there that I don't believe in and that I don't believe in its message. And it's not a mandate for me. It's a show that's owned by me. There is no checklist from the TV saying, oh, did we speak about this? Shall we? No, I just want to speak about people of determination. I want to speak about, somebody having a heart attack. I want to speak about giving. I want to speak of this. It's me. And I use these 4 grandmothers and the 4 versions of Muhammad to basically create this conversation between them. So I don't want to I don't want to come across as a crazy person, but there are compartments of these grandmothers in me. I will ask myself, what will the crazy Muhammad say? Or the reckless Muhammad, what will he do? The impulsive Muhammad, like Hamas, what will he do? What will somebody, naive, like Salloum, do? What will, and you go through these conversations, and before you know it, your message comes loud and clear sometimes. Sometimes you don't hit the mark, but you learn to hit the mark better. And as the seasons progress, and any show I do progress, everything evolves, including my storytelling. And it's always a challenge to go from success to another success to another success. By the way, maintaining success is success. It's not like you don't have to top yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maintaining yourself for 20 years is success by itself.
100%.
Learning how to celebrate failure and maybe celebrating it more than success because you've tasted success. يعني how when you you taste success and you taste it in many formats and thank God I for the many times I have tasted success and made people happy or go like, oh wow, you're the guy who did this, or oh wow, I love the show. With that comes many chapters of failure, not hitting the mark. Sometimes I'll be working on an episode for 6 months and I'll go like, this is the one. No, it's not the one. And then I'll go work on an episode for just 1 month. But the messaging there was stronger. And also, one other thing that I keep in mind is I need to put my finger on the pulse of the nation. What is it that they are caring about right now? What's going through their head? What's happening with Gen Z? How can I speak to this generation? How do I do that without insulting the generation that came before that? Because Freej is a show that speaks to three generations. So you have to be careful about how you can speak to all of them at once and still deliver the message. And that is something, again, it's not just writing the show. It's really knowing how can I grab an audience. And let's say you might have a specific audience for your podcast. You know your audience and you know what to give them.
Yeah.
My audience is ever evolving, so I need to catch up with them. And your energy tank starts to decrease. And by the end of it, you go, khalas, I think I've parked that project. I think there's nothing more to say, at least for this generation. And that's why Freej stopped for 11 years. There was nothing more to say for that kind of age group and those 3 generations. 11 years later, we have 2 astronauts in space, we have this, we have that, so new subjects come up.
You centered so much of your experience around your evolving skill set and the different reflections of yourself in your characters, which, by the way, doesn't make you crazy. I think this is exactly what makes you relatable and exactly what drew me to you when we first met, because in that madness, that is where life is. That is where I see myself, in that messiness.
Chaos.
You know what I mean? In that messiness, in that chaos. Absolutely. as your skills evolved, which is natural, your story evolved. And just to give the audience context, this is a show that has been going on, shows and characters that have outlast the 20-year mark, mashallah. A show that has carried over into Asia. It's been dubbed in Japanese. It's now in the process of being dubbed into a third language. It has characters that have become their own IP extensions. You somehow have inherited the responsibility of carrying a message to a nation, as you clearly said. Money, fame, PR, the list goes on. To an outsider, this is the dream.
Yes.
This is the dream. Mashallah, you have nothing to complain about.
It's still the dream, but it's this dream. You know, when you check in when you check in for a flight and then you just take a small handbag because the destination is just like a short destination.
Yeah.
But then you end up going to another continent and you need more luggage, more bag, and you start shipping stuff in cargo. Things build up.
Yeah.
Success builds up and other stuff with it builds up. Sometimes it becomes scars. Sometimes it's something that will resonate with you, and sometimes you'll get not quite the reaction you expected from yourself to yourself. I'm not talking about how people perceive you, which I care about, but I perceive about me caring about myself as well, and not being overly harsh as we progress through life. It has to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Be harsh on yourself in the beginning. Yes, you have to. But then I think that instills some kind of little small monster that's called fear, وشو يسمونه جلد الذات. And if you allow that,
self-sabotage.
Yes, self-sabotage. If you allow that to grow, and unfortunately, sometimes I did, and then it became a huge monster in my own. It made me struggle. It made me more emotional. It made the last season that I created very emotional. But it's a reflection of where I am in life. And many foreign artists, not necessarily Arabs, their albums as singers is basically what they're going through right now. If this Taylor Swift is going through a breakup, this whole album is like basically a breakup album.
100%.
It's an album of reflection, then it's an album of reflection. And I think this is very true to my products, to my show. And you have to understand that it's maybe 99.5% you don't own your own creation. TVs produce and TVs own. So it's not your voice.
Yeah.
And with Freej, it is my voice. And it is a reflection of my journey and where it is right now.
And I think that's the defining factor of what makes an artist an artist. And while I think we live in a culture globally where we think that life is about the avoidance of pain or the suppression of pain, when in reality, some of the most beautiful revelations and experiences come as a result of pain. I know you referenced a lot of your challenges as failures, but even from my own experience, I've come to learn that it's the failures that made me the woman I am today more than the successes, because success sometimes has a tendency to put you in a cage of you're a little bit more cautious about trying new things and taking risks, and you want to make sure, to your point, to maintain that success.
Yes.
So I want to have a real conversation around the cost of it. Because when I talk about cost, this isn't meant to frame entrepreneurship or success or business as negative. Yep. But I feel like we have a tendency to over-glorify it because all people see is obviously the external part. They see the success. And there is a toll, there is a cost that it's important we all understand, because I think it's quite helpful to know what you're walking into.
First of all, this is a subject matter that I've heard a lot of women talk about, because I think they're very kind of triggered to talk about, what happens to them. But you don't see it with men a lot because they keep that kind of shield. And they don't want to. We've been programmed to see opening up as something that is negative, that takes away from your manhood, your manly perspective in life and how people perceive men and all of that. And we don't want to give away many secrets and all of that. But the reality is, like, even every father, every son, every brother do suffer. They just don't want to communicate that, and they don't find the avenues to communicate that. Unfortunately, sometimes even with our own families, we find it very, very hard to open up as men versus men, like men versus me versus a brother, me versus a father. I am more open with my sister, but how open can I be? Will she get my understanding? I want a man to understand me, not a woman to understand me, because their perspective is something that I can resonate with, because the fact we are just men. And then, but it's also understandable that they might not get everything about me. They might not get everything about my own struggle, living life basically to please people, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family, whether it's a bigger group, whether it's a nation. And the bigger the group and the bigger the responsibility of you thinking, you assuming that you are put on this planet to please these people because you had a show that became the #1 show and a cultural phenomenon. This developed a sickness, and not a sickness in me, a psychological kind of dependency on that. I will only be happy if they are happy. And that's a very big problem. If they are not happy because whatever reason, it reflects badly on me. And I will start then taking it in a harsh way, and I don't know how I will deal with this situation. And sometimes I will go through very dark pathways. I have a very addictive personality. If I like something, you can ask my friends, Mohammed, you'll be the role model. You will be just the one. I loved horses for a while. I still love them to death. They heal. They are healers. I love them to the extent that I became a professional jockey.
Wow.
Yeah, and for you to do that, you have to go through like 6-7 races, 40 kilometers, 80 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 7 hours. It's like me going to London on a horse to get that license. And the bond you create with that animal. Because what I loved about that part of my life is that horses don't judge you. They will either love you or kick you. You need to be good with them. They don't care if you're famous. They don't care if you're famous. And that's sometimes, you go into a situation where there's no prejudgment that happens. I can tell you this, except when I'm away, when I'm traveling, in every situation I am in the UAE or GCC, there is a perception, Oh, he's the guy who did this. He's the one who gave us those happy memories, and then you go but then he's sad inside, or he's confused inside, or he's not doing well inside, or he cares too much that his mental health really had a hit, and it's by coincidence, honestly speaking, that a friend of mine sent me something on social media, and it was this kind of post, some kind of motivational post or something. And I read the bullet points, and it says, if you have this, if you have this, if you have this, and you have this, all of the things that are bad, you fear, you care, you worry too much. You go from care to worry, you worry too much. You're hard on yourself. You tend to kind of go into dark areas. You find joy when people tell you that you can be joyful now. And I said, if you have this, you do have ADHD. And if you're fidgety, and if you can't sit, and you're moving too much. And I thought it was because of me being in animation, being animated, whether it's physically animated or vocally animated or emotionally maybe sometimes animated. And I went to see a doctor, and we sat and chit-chatted, and before even, and now many people especially guys, they go to psychiatrists.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you're crazy.
It was a taboo.
Yeah, before you're crazy, it's, are you okay? What happened to you? It's like, no, nothing is okay. It's, sometimes you don't want to talk with somebody who knows you too well,
Yeah.
or somebody who knows that when you talk, it's related to something neural in your brain, the way you're wired, because you've seen many versions of somebody like you, probably you fit some kind of area. So when I sat and spoke to him, and he said, you definitely have ADHD. But he said, is it harming you? Is it, because it's not diagnosed as a sickness. It's basically how your brain is wired.
Correct.
How you perceive things, how you look at things differently, how you use your left brain, you're not your right, all of that thing comes in, which is a very different setup. You have different cameras and they're set up different ways. And he said, this is not the cause of what you are suffering from. It's just basically an FYI.
Wow.
And I said, what is it then? He said, you are suffering from long-term burnout.
Wow.
And this is something that never kind of hit me. He said, it's harder for you to recover now than it was before. What took you 1 month to recover from, whether it was a project or a theatrical show or Freej or whatever, now takes you probably 6 months. And even that recovery, you keep, I don't know how to say this word. I will not even say this word. Keep looking back at what you've done, and you will say, oh, this was not good, this was not good. And
So you're judging yourself.
You're judging yourself, and you're too harsh. You're not celebrating. You're not celebrating what you created. And I know with shows like Freej, forget the numbers and the viewerships. As you saw, it's the legacy. Like, I am part of somebody's childhood.
Yeah.
I am part of somebody's growing up.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yes, and the more you realize that, the more you kind of be harder on yourself instead of celebrating, what you've created. And over and above that, you also still need to lead a team, find new projects. We work in a landscape where animation is not like something that anybody will go to. You'll have for every 100 shows that are live, you'll have one animation show. Like, I'll give you an example. Since we came out, and we are the leaders in animation in this country, we had only 4 IPs grow. And 3 of them, well, all of them, most of them died.
Wow.
Because they could not sustain a business plan. They cannot sustain a business. The supporting facilities, whether it is, the TV stations, or they all have their own kind of agendas and systems and budgets and stuff like that. They cannot sustain a very expensive model like animation, because animation is very expensive. So,
But Mohammed, I want to go back to this point because, first of all, thank you so much for.
Did I deviate?
No.
Okay.
You're building. You've centered the narrative around this idea of burnout. But I want to stop here because I feel like a lot of people dismiss exhaustion and burnout and other terms that are used as a symptom that just requires you to just rest, take a vacation. They simplify it, and I'm so grateful that as a man you're coming forward and you're talking about this. So I'd love for you to just elaborate about this space, because for me at least, burnout was not just something mental. It was jasadi. It's physical. It's psychological.
No,
it's everything.
It gave me IBS. So IBS is basically قولون العصبي. قولون العصبي, and basically it's born from stress. It's not something you can cure. But if you continue this way, you will get something. And that something will be, alhamdulillah, not chronic, but chronic-like. And many people, في ناس ما يعرفون إن فيهم هالشيء.
Yeah.
they don't know they don't know. Before, some teammates of mine and some friends, ما فيك شيء.
Yeah.
You don't have anything. You don't. I said, listen, I hate to compare this, but when you do a show, it's like giving birth. In the end, it's like even the 1 year of craziness, you stop like this, you fall. You fall mentally because you're on like you're on a certain energy, and they don't relate because they're part of the 9 to 5 job, including the people who work with me who will tell me like, you didn't do anything. يعني ما فيك شيء. أنا أقول فيني شيء. I wake up now throwing up, like, and I don't know why I'm throwing up, and I go check the doctor, and he says you don't have anything, and I said but I feel something, and then till we reach that whole IBS situation where I need to check my food, make sure it's not infecting my thing, and then the moment then I wake up, I have a rush of ideas, well, not ideas, a rush of thoughts. Yeah, late ideas, a rush of thoughts that automatically you throw up because these thoughts manifested as monsters. And you go like, oh, wait, hold on, nothing. And I'd call my friends and I'll say, yesterday, or like, nothing happened. Why are you so harsh on yourself? Why are you so jittery about this, how you spoke to someone? Did you come across as something, like, sometimes I'm very impulsive. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want anybody to take something the wrong way. I get sometimes very hurt if I give some subject, someone, something more than it should be, and then expecting something. And all of this happens because I was programmed to be this needy. Because I gave you something. I want something back. That's how entertainment works. You give something very heavily, you take something very heavily. Failure or success. The moment I acknowledged all of this, and the moment I also acknowledged that I don't expect them anymore, except for like a very, very few people, including my wife, who understands when I say today, I want to take a chill. Today, I don't want to do anything. You'll just see me sitting on the chair, flipping through social media. Not even participating. يعني officially صنم. I'm like a statue.
Doom scrolling, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, and it gives me great pleasure. Great pleasure. I travel with my friends, and they are, mashallah, adventurers. We go to a country, and I'll just be in the hotel. Like sitting in the bedroom, watching TV. I go like, why did we travel? Then I was like, because I need this.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I need. And I realized that traveling does not fix.
Yeah.
It's actually maybe adding more layers to you. So you need to find that moment or your area where it's okay. And just make sure you deliver. And more, if you ask my friends, I am more of a work from home person now. I can't handle being in an environment with 20 people unless I am needed. If I'm not needed, I can still give you what you want, but like, for example, when I do writing, من زمان, when we were in the older office, I had a big office or whatever, and I will write scripts. Now I cannot write scripts in the office.
Yeah. It's too much overstimulation.
Yeah, because everybody comes to you at many directions. Hey, Mohammed, remember that project? Hey, Mohammed, this guy's here to me. And I have to be like somewhere where I feel I can give. And I can be myself. I remember when we spoke about that. Sometimes, when I write Freej and the poem is a little bit emotional because it's me, I would cry. I would be aggressive. We have this joke that we have the throw me phone, not at people, but it's like it doesn't work. It's called the throw me phone. It's like, fuck.
You throw the phone at the wall.
Yes.
To release stress.
Yes, and it's and we keep the phone, and like we've changed many phones. بس خلينا هالتليفون. We left this phone because it's called the throw me phone. So yeah, that. So I'm still evolving in that area. I'm still learning to deal with myself. And still learning to hopefully through my addictive personality go somewhere a little bit in a positive addiction, not let myself fall, because I'm a very vibrant creature, because you need to be vibrant to create what we create. So that's it.
Wow.
Too much to offload and
No,
too much to
it's-
digest. But I think maybe in what I said, someone will relate to something.
I think many people, I don't think you're giving yourself credit for how much you're revealing, because what you are saying not only holds true to people in the creative industry, but for people that struggle to, as you rightly said, articulate what is going on inside.
Yeah.
The ability to identify and articulate what is going on inside is so difficult. That's why it's a talent for artists, because they're able to translate it into something productive. And then we end up glorifying the productive without recognizing where that
The
came
harm.
from.
Yeah, you said that very well.
Yeah.
We not everyone does that, and I've seen a lot of examples of people who articulate, but they don't articulate in a good way. They are aggressive, they're offensive, they're non-educated about what articulation means. Sometimes articulation for them is pointing fingers, sometimes deflecting their problems through inflicting you is what they go through. And it's, I think, normal nature. Some people get too, because they did not understand here what's going on. So they feel that they don't know how to kind of release that stress. For me, I still have that, but for me, at least I have Freej. I have my commercial songs, writing poetry, avenues to let go. And sometimes people will come to me, it's like, are you okay? Because all the poems you write are sad. And I said, but you know, I have a wedding company where I like make brides happy. And
I balance.
I'm trying. Yeah, I am, because you know, especially in that realm, it's very personal with weddings. Because I sit with the bride, we do the zaffa. So she wants to talk about basically her family, her you know, her life, and you know, how basically she wants to thank her parents, her mother. It's very emotional for them, this moment. And we have these WhatsApp groups, and I have like 6, 7, 8 mothers at the same time, you know, and you have to be very personal with them.
Yeah.
Like I make them, I rehearse them sometimes. I see them cry. I see them hug and cry. And I say, like I feel very happy being part of somebody's happy tears. And I am also very, very happy of being part of somebody's blues and sad tears, because I'm letting them release.
And that's incredibly beautiful. I have to ask you, yani, who does that for you?
My work and my family. يعني شوفي, I cannot. I just want to put that out there. I'm not here to blame anyone or thank anyone, including members of my family, because they do so much for me. I don't think a sit down will give them justice. يعني, and it will be such a mundane answer if I told you that it's my family and friends and my support system, because that's what everybody gets. You know, most people. But I programmed myself that I can, through some times of sadness, it's rewarding. You want to be sad and rewarded. So when I do songs, I'm rewarded by people aligning their sadness with my sadness, aligning their happiness with my happiness. So I find it very important. It's too late now. I'm almost 50. That, you know, this is the system that works for me.
Yeah.
And that system can be broken sometimes, should be software updated sometimes. But I think, again, the brilliance in you is born from some of the pain that you have. And my mother passed away when I was very 18. She did not see me doing Freej. She always kind of not been harsh on me, because I was the eldest son. And as you know, eldest son, you cannot deal with them. What you know, you're still, you know, a new mom with a new kid, the first kid. So there was always that challenge with me whether or not I will progress in life, and where will I reach in this life of mine. She didn't know anything about cartoons or what I do or anything, because I was in uni back then. My dad, for example, he is an exceptional model when it comes to being a very successful human being, a very successful father. He really made an effort to be a mother and a father. He is somebody who's very well known in this society. So it's a very high bar to kind of basically live up to. And this goes, with me and my siblings. So if we sit together for lunch, he would say, which minister did you see? Or did you meet somebody of significance? Because if you speak just normal talk, no. You have to be something that, I achieved X, Y, and Z in a week.
Mm.
He does not expect it, but it's programmed like this now. So there's always this kind of, and also you have the peer pressure, your directors, there are other people who kind of, compete with you in a nice, friendly way.
But see, that's why I asked. أول شيء الله يحفظهم. You got me emotional on the way you talk about your family. And I understand where you're coming from, but my intention when I asked you who does this for you is not to negate the support of a family. Because as a creative, one of the things I've learned, especially when you have the overstimulated, overwhelming thoughts that create an output of brilliance, even after you learn to tame them, being an artist or a creative can be a very isolating journey. And it's an important part of the process. But sometimes, especially in the times where you don't know how to ask for help and you don't know how to ask for what you need, you're not ready for it. It's a very lonely, scary place.
Yes.
And I guess it just makes me wonder. I mean, I wonder about what I would have needed at those low points. Is there something you wish you did have?
I wish I had more time to do things and more time in between. I once worked with Roger Allers, who's the director of The Lion King. We did Khalil Gibran's The Prophet.
Wow.
So we were 8 directors. 7 of them are Oscar nominated or winners, and I was the only one who's from Arabia because they wanted an Arabic kind of perspective. He's Arabic after all. Yeah. And while going through that journey, it was harsh because, expectations are high, and how will you be of that kind of caliber, and how will your work, because everyone was given a poem and it all came together in a movie. And Roger Allers, who's the director of The Lion King, was the director of directors. He's like the mothership. So expectations were high, and I don't know what's high. And then things went through. The best compliment I got is that when people ask me which poem was yours, and I thought that, khalas, if they don't know which one is mine, it means that like I am, I'm parked next to them. But then I hosted them in a talk, and I asked them, I said, how far between projects do you need to rest? Because each project takes 4 years to complete. He said 8 years.
Allah.
8 years rest. ونحن كل سنة every year we're supposed to like reset and go again and run. He said, I need 8 years. I have a ranch in the States somewhere, I don't know what. He raises some chickens, and he said, for me, that is my reset. I will spend time reading script sometimes if I'm up to. نحن هني we're مطالبين. We are, you're done again. And for Freej or something like it, it takes a year. So with Freej, we're also working on multiple other projects. So this one is in production, this is in writing, this is in post, and you have to juggle all of those. So I wish what would have helped me is, number one, be assured that whenever I want to do something, I can be funded to do it, because I have to. أنا وايد أهتم بموظفيني. They've been with me my employees been with me more than like 12 years, 15. I've seen them grow up with me, get married, have kids, go to school. This is my family. Actually, I spent more time with them than my family. I know about their, struggles, achievements in life, not in work. I see them also evolved from small artists to directors now. And it's a responsibility. It's not just, Wallah Muhammad, he works in this company. I own the company. They come to me if there is an issue. They will seek help if they need help. And I rely on them as well for my own mental health, for my own happiness, because we get each other.
Yeah.
And we don't judge each other because we are in the same ship.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people are not on that same ship with you, they won't get the struggles that, oh, so what, you wrote a script?
Yeah.
Oh, so what, you created?
It's interesting. So it's almost like you now created the environment, البيئة, that you would have loved to have. And have you factored in that rest time? Because you said something very key, which I never thought about, which is the length of time it takes to really restore yourself and produce something phenomenal. Have you managed to apply that to the culture of how you work or how your company functions?
Well, lately, I made sure we had a very nice office. You will come to visit us. Amazing looking office. Great facilities for everybody who works there. I don't have an office there. And I don't like, because I'm very jumpy. If a project is in a certain place where I have no say in what's happening right now, because it's going through the system, whether it's being colored or being basically 3D modeled, something that's outside our realm in terms of company, why will I go? And I'll get these calls like, why don't you show up? Why don't you come? And I was like, listen, I think I reached a stage where I am semi-resting, semi-working, because I was doing a movie, and I think this is the one that broke my back. I made a film, a live-action film called The Foul King. It was my second live-action feature film. The first one was Rashid Harib. But this one was about wrestling. And it was shot during Corona times in Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi was the restrictions in Abu Dhabi was very, very harsh.
I remember.
And I remember walking into the hotel to check in and said, welcome, Mr. Harib, you'll be with us for 90 days. 90 days in a hotel, whether it's a suite or a room. So it's just in the hotel. But you cannot go outside the circle. People of the hotel stay in the hotel. The people of the hotel, if you want to go shoot, you take the permit. My crew was more than 110 kind of, people who, from actors to technicians to producers to everything. And we created a safety zone, because if I get sick, the production will stop for 2 weeks. If any of my main actors get sick, 2 weeks. So we created like Zone A, the director and the DOP and the actors. Zone B, I could not even interact with others, and it became a very taxing production for me, mentally, And as much as I was proud of that film, but I think it took away more than I gave it from me. And after that, I never got to kind of recover from it. And it became such a low point for me that I needed to have a Freej. And because financially, to leave your company for 90 days financially, the company went through a financial crisis, because no jobs were coming through. Corona affected everybody in different ways. So we hit that very low point. If we don't do a Freej, we close the company. And so everything was hanging very heavy on me to create the show. So my emotions of doing the show was really under very harsh circumstances for a creative to work. And that's why, I tried my best, but I know I was scared. if this will go through or not. Thankfully, the sixth season was very, very successful, more than 12 million views, 12 million mushahadat, which
MashaAllah.
kind of put me back where I needed to be, but then I started to fall again because I needed to recover now from this burn.
Yeah.
So, خلاص قلت, okay, you know what? This is the nature, this is the vicious cycle. It's a very big high and low. And now I think I'm slightly out of the low. My wife was telling me, is like, so I was like, oh, I have a podcast and I finished speaking in this place and somebody is asking me for to attend somewhere in another city. And I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to go and talk. If it's somewhere like convenient, yes. But I don't want to like go to far places to talk and stuff like that. And she said, no, but you need to see people. You need to talk to people. You need to give some of your knowledge back. And you need to, basically, people might tell you good things about you, or, you know, like go out there and be يعني let ما تنطوي على نفسك خلاص. And because that's the not to make it a very depressing discussion now, but this is what happens. You start to...
Absolutely. You're right. And look, as someone who's hosting you on her podcast, I can tell you that from meeting you, I'm so grateful for so much that you were willing to share. But I think one of the most important takeaways from this conversation is recognizing that this isn't a binary conversation of, I'm bad, now I'm good. I'm good. I can't be bad anymore. Khalas,
no switch.
That's not life. That's not real.
Yes.
And to pitch it as this is real and this is what we should aspire to. I should aspire to just be good again and not have whatever, psychological issues, mental, whatever it may be. We all go through it. Life is all about the ebbs and the flows.
Yes. And
I think the older we get, we hope that we get better at navigating it. And I think that's where the wisdom is.
Yes. And I think I am very humbled that I had a journey that is super successful, alhamdulillah. I managed to put I always tell people, I get paid for my imagination. You know, like don't احمد ربك.
That's beautiful.
You know, you get paid for your imagination, not to be told what to do and go through a system or whatever other people do, but celebrate that, be part of that. But recognize that comes with its side effects. في side effect في غرور, في side effect people start to have a very different take on reality. They think they're something and they're not. They're not humble enough. They're not. They start to be greedy. They start to be treating people in a rude manner. But also there are the other hidden things that we feel, but we cannot my friend was like, Mohammed, you don't have this. You don't have this. You're just depressed. You know, I like how people know now at least have the knowledge to say the right things.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's wrong. I was like, I'm not depressed, but I am feeling something that is making me not want to do anything anymore.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. And it's, and as the doctor might have said, it's just long-term burnout. I just need to be where I need to be. Maybe it's in the kitchen somewhere. Maybe it's I just go hide in the fridge. Whatever.
I love that. I love that. Be where you need to be.
I just need to mentally I need to be somewhere. Physically I need to be somewhere. Emotionally I need to be somewhere. And I'm sorry, I am not aligned with where you are yourself today. Or maybe for a few months. One of the ideas I came up with, and I think it would be nice. I have a friend who does this. Once a project is done, they will go and take 3 months learning something new.
Oh, that's beautiful.
مثلا دورة travel to, let's say, Australia. Be far away from the time zone as possible, or the States, and take something that will enhance what you have already. Maybe take something about creative thinking. See if you're aligned with these people, if actually how you think is something. Go to a horse ranch, because there is a very nice leadership program on you breaking a horse in. So basically, this horse does not know, like what I used to do, but this one is basically how it's for CEOs.
Yeah, I've seen them before.
Yes.
They work with horses because they're very intuitive to a human's feelings.
Yes, and he needs, this CEO needs to be humble, needs to find a solution, and it's very good. They take them to these courses because many of them deal with many employees of different kind of natures. But it might be an idea. Still thinking about it.
Very cool. Mohammed, I could sit and talk to you about this forever. But we have a tradition and you've shared so much. I'd now like to give you the opportunity to either ask me a question or give me something to consider.
Well, I want to thank you, first of all, for not doing the routine thing, the run of the mills. And I'm sure you're much aware of that. But I think it will be very helpful for all of us to hear the other side of their journeys because I'm not interested in success. I am interested in knowing what you just took me through, to understand what was it that was harmful in that journey from a corporate point of view, from a family point of view, from a financial point of view, from a mental point of view, because I need to be aware of these areas and learn from other people's journeys. Because success is success. خلاص, يعني we know you're famous, okay, you did this. Your work speaks for yourself. You have a Wikipedia page. I checked my ChatGPT, it says good things about me. So, but they don't tell me the other side of you. And they don't tell me, I've heard this, what are the challenges that you went through during your career? Fine, I had technical challenges, I had this, but what are the real challenges? Some people, like, I was separated from my family for the longest of times. Our bonds got weaker because of the nature of my business. I started not to see them as much as I do. Like, I need to schedule a meeting with my wife to go and have dinner now. It's something that, because we're on trajectories, we don't want to ruin that. And we understand that it's okay when we try to find solutions. But that is one of the lessons I came up to. Because, many people get divorced, separated from their family, because both sides are not understanding the need. And thankfully, because my wife works in the entertainment field, she understands completely what I go through and the reason I go through this.
That's such a blessing. And I feel like that's such an important thing to consider. And thank you so much for being so willing to share. Before I sign off, just a gentle observation. What's incredible about what you said and what you asked us to consider about recognizing the non-achievement side of us kind of takes us back to how our grandmothers and ancestors, why their oral storytelling was so powerful in terms of building connections with each other.
Yes.
Because they knew all that.
Yes.
They knew that about each other, and it was an important part of the fabric of how we as Arabs built our nations, functioned as tribes,
Yes.
And it's an incredible history to kind of preserve. So thank you for giving us something to consider.
No, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Dana.
Thank you. And to all the people that are listening, as always, thank you for the privilege of your time. I hope you found something to consider.